and good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 123 of New York Red Bull Discussion Group, the podcast. I'm Garry Redmond. Greetings and salutations. Glad to be at your service. So, what is left really right now to talk about? Well, the Red Bulls went to Hudson River Derby and laid a big fat egg. Luckily they didn't get shut out as NYCFC not only took the game, took the series, took the trophy, took our hearts, took our pride, and basically collectively kicked us in the groin. Kudos to the winners. They deserve it. We don't. So that's what we're all going to be talking about. The debacle at the Cathedral versus New York Red Bulls versus NYCFC. Thankfully for the boys in red, they're going to have a very short week to try to forget this and try to wash the taste out of their mouth as they head over north to Toronto FC as they take on Wednesday night. And then on Saturday, Atlanta United come calling. They're going to go down to the Peachtree Boys and deal with the Five Stripes and see if they can able to get a win with them. And of course, as always, we're going to be Gotham FC, which they did very well. They wound up with a tie. And New York Red Bulls to action. And all of your hot takes from the guys live on this. I see you guys coming online right now. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of them after what happened on, over the weekend and more to talk about. Of course, naturally, with regard to our show, if you happen to miss the live show, you can happen to catch the recording on our YouTube channel. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, Goals.tv, we're not using it. We're live right now on X, formerly on Twitter, and Spotify.com, which happens to be our home. You can actually load all the episodes. They're going to be loaded the very next stage for your viewing and listening pleasure. And by all means, let us know how we're doing, okay? We welcome any feedback, good or bad. Please shoot us an email, which we happen to have an email address, rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. That is rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. So, with that said, the gentlemen are now standing by. Lanre, man, did you make it in time? So the model, Lanre Badmus, and of course, live from Casa del Nunez, and of course, in New Jersey, we have Miguel Nunez. How appropriate that I have two of my favorite rant men, okay, after getting ready. And Lanre, I know you're getting ready to explode at me. Before you do that, okay, a couple of things here.
Of course.
We've all seen the tweet right now from Oliver Minslav. Okay, we're going to talk about this just about a bit. And what he said regarding about Major League Soccer and basically what we've all, well, put it this way. He kind of verified what we've all known. Okay, let's not sugarcoat it. We've all known this. Okay, he was right. My take on this is quite simple, guys. He's right about the league. But then again, we've been right about how this team is being run since they purchased it. And so if there's going to be any introspection and everything else, yes, you can blame the league all you want. But my thing is, you know what? Other teams don't seem to have that problem. Do that. That's a bit of a, that's a bit of a stretch for me. Okay. You're basically giving fans a narrative which they will gleefully paint their picture all over you. And here we are. Okay. If you're not going to be honest with the fan base and give the fan base or give them what your true intentions are, what you're going to do, instead of keeping it close to the vest and let people figure it out, they're going to make up those narratives for you, whether you like them or not. Miguel, I'll start with you. Your thoughts before we move on.
Well, like you said, Garry, this is something that we've known forever now, okay? However, I will say that in the discussion group, there's people who deny this, like that have denied this, that no, that's not what they're doing. This is their model, and blah 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 blah. But no. Pretty much those who can see, can actually see the evidence, will tell you that this is what they've done. It hasn't. Well, last year they sold off Christian Cáceres. This year they sold off Frankie Amaya.
Both guys that we needed.
Right?
He's about to explode right now.
Maybe in January. The rumor is Lewis Morgan is probably gone, as well as one of those kids like Tolkien or Edelman. But just based on what happened this past weekend, I can't see anybody taking them. But or even our center back, our Colombian guy. He could be sold off. I think
Honestly,
that's what.
This
This is what. Yeah, I mean. But we've all seen this, and now there's confirmation from somebody at the highest levels of the Red Bull GmbH organization. Okay, yeah, this is what we're doing. We want to develop players and then sell them off. Okay,
well, developing players and winning championships are not mutually exclusive. Other clubs have done it.
Right?
See Philadelphia Union.
Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, they came this close to doing it, Gary. I will tell you that. Okay. Is it a shock to me? It's not a shock to me. Okay.
Shouldn't be.
But there's a bunch of these guys, man, they'll talk to you about this is not what they're doing, and we're doing it right, and blah blah blah. No, we're not doing it right.
Well, we're doing one thing right. Let's be clear. No one really has a problem on the development side. No one, not one person. And they know they're doing the right thing. I mean, this is what technically what the league mandated. This is what they want. They want generation next. Okay. They want to find the best kids and the best ballers all around the region in North America and showcase them. Okay. Sprinkling in a few vets here and there. At least that was the plan. Okay. Then you got fans who are hungry. They watch other leagues. Okay. They watch Serie A. They watch the Prem, right? They watch the Bundesliga. What do they see? I mean, excuse me, I left out one. La Liga. And what do you see? Big name after big name after big name. And they get hungry and they want to see that on our shores rather than waking up at the crack of dawn and, seeing it on the telly. They want to be able to see it live. However,
right. I mean, you might be able to get that at Miami, whatever, soccer club or FC, but you can't get that here.
No, you cannot. No,
but what you can get is a real solid team. I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you that the other team that was in our house the other day is a real solid team, player for player. They're better than ours, okay? That's what I'm going to lay that out for you. I don't know if you would agree with that, Gary. I don't know if you would agree with that, Lanre. Okay?
I do.
I do. It's not that I want to. It's not that I want to agree. Lanre will let you take over in about 1 second. It's not that I agree with you, Miguel. How many times have I said it? Okay. I want a team that is solid from bench to pitch. Okay. What I mean is get guys who are better than the ones we have who are starting. I can identify 7 guys who, if you want to keep them, fine, but they don't start. They're sitting on the bench. That's your solid guys, and get someone who's better. Even if you have to lose them to international, into international play, so be it. But at least you have a solid squad. NYCFC, gentlemen, has spent, north of 80 million. Okay, 80 million on 3 solid attacking players. And they ran right. They ran right all over the pitch.
I think that was 20 million.
Excuse me, 20 million. I'm sorry.
20 million on 3 players.
Still more than us.
Yeah. And 2 of their main guys were not even on the field.
No.
Because they were injured.
No. Just goes to show you just how solid that team is. We knew, Anthony and I knew that coming in when the last time we saw these guys. They were technically solid. Lanre, all yours, man, because I know you've been chomping at the bit at this point. First, let's talk about Minslav, and then we'll talk about the game. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Your thoughts on Minslav?
Man said the quiet part out loud. I mean, there's really no excuse. I don't care what anybody says. There's no viable excuse for not investing into the squad. Otherwise, why the hell are Red Bull Why do they own the New York Red Bulls? Why didn't they just leave the Metro Stars alone? Why haven't they sold by now? Why do they keep pouring into the club, pouring into the academy, investing in a new training facility? It just makes no sense for him to go out and say all that garbage out loud. It's only going to anger the fan base even more, especially after getting absolutely destroyed and pelted and blasted, like super finger blasted by our rivals across the river in our own house. How are you going to expect us to be happy about that? Fan enthusiasm, supporter enthusiasm is already at an all-time low. And you come out and say that? You gotta be kidding me, bro. Get out of my face with that.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage. Absolute deadbeat, excusing garbage.
Like I said, I don't blame, which is why I wrote, okay, they made the playoffs. Hooray. But we've seen this movie before.
I think that's
Okay.
what they shoot for, Gary.
I mean,
that's what they shoot for. Making the playoffs. That's success. That's it.
And Vincent Escobar, we love that guy. We had him on the show. We're going to plan to have him back pretty soon. He makes the salient point that I made when I wrote that piece on the discussion group. If a team like the Columbus Crew can make a great team using the same roster rules, and the New York Red Bulls should be able to do so as well.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Again, I can understand his point about the league, but on the other hand, what have you been doing? What is the difference between your team up in Leipzig, up in Salzburg, and New York? And this is why I don't want them to sell. See, that would just set things back almost a decade all over again. I mean, not every owner, deep-pocketed owner, is in love with soccer. Honestly, no. I mean, don't believe me? See pre-court what's going on with Austin, with Austin FC right now. Their fans are having a fit. Okay, you want to talk about tone deaf and dumb? Good luck. See if we can able to grab and get somebody like that. However, what I want Red Bull Global to do is send one of their top guys, and I don't mean Mario Gomez. I like him. He's cool. We talked, but basically he's a yes man. I want the man. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Look, working in the corporate environment for a long time, especially if you have somebody whose headquarters is in a faraway land or another state or what have you, you have people in place that's going to report to you. In some cases, to save their jobs, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? They are not going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you, well, there's some problems, but everything is okay. We handle it. You sure? Yeah, I got it. I'll take care of it. Except it's not taken care of. Now, if you have a hands-on boss who will make the flight and make a surprise inspection and see, okay, my team's in 6th place. We're in the shadow of a New York market, which is number 1 in the world. And nobody cares about us. Our fans hate us. In fact, they want us gone. We're not bringing in the players that we're supposed to be. We're losing to rivals who are clearly better than us, and they're doing it with duct tape and baling wire, and we got the resources. So the question is for the fan base, and it's a legit one. What are you doing? You've been in, the last time we had any sniff of success, and I don't mean to steal your rant, Lanre, 2018. It's been 6 years.
And counting
of futility. Yeah, but we were in 4th. You were in 4th place. Now you're in 6th. You let things slip. Your team isn't deep enough or strong enough to stay up there. And you're surprised while you're in 7th place? I understand that. We talked to the coach. We talked to the captain. They both agree. None of this was unacceptable. Okay, fix it. Most of this is on you guys. Of course, you can't fire the team. Firing the coach, that's a very dumb idea. That's like trying to kill a fly with a shotgun. That's not going to work. Invest in the team. Find out who's your leak. Find out who the leak wink is. You get rid of it. Then you build better.
Garry, what's the stat? It was like it's 1 win in 13 games.
Yes, you haven't won a game since July.
That's insane. Okay.
No, it was June. We won a game in
You haven't won
July.
a game since. No, excuse me, that was NYCFC. My apologies. You haven't won a game since June. To the team that you're going to face.
God.
To the
October
team
is
you're
tomorrow.
going. To the team you're going to face on Wednesday. Toronto.
Wow. Wow. It's just freaking insanity again.
Poverty. It's poverty is what it is, Miguel. Poverty.
I mean, some of the things, okay, it's true, Lanre, that, Minslav has said the quiet part out loud, but then again, this quiet part has been nothing more than a roar. It's not a whisper. It's something that most folks have known for years, even me. Even me. I've said it for years. You know what? It's about time. Nicholas is right. The last win was for FC Cincinnati before the break. That was it.
I forgot.
That was our last win. A lot of people have forgotten about that. I haven't. Nick hasn't. And I've said this before. Plain and simple. If you're going to be a good team, find a way to win the games in front of you. You don't let games slip. You don't have games in your clutches and somehow you make mistakes. And this is a young crew. This young crew has made mistakes all over the pitch. Mistakes that even you, Love, are shaking you, banging your head against the wall.
I'm surprised you don't have a concussion.
That's how bad things have gotten. And yet, all we hear from the coach is, well, they're a young crew. Mistakes happen. Okay, fine. Then you fix them. Maybe, I'm going, I've been critical of this team all year. I've been unapologetically assaulting them. Like, okay, you need to be better than this. The excuses are not helping. They're not working. Fans have voted with their feet. I'm used to Red Bull Arena back in the days we used to be full.
All right.
People came in. I mean, hey, the fan experience, the light show and the fireworks. I mean, that's nice. I mean, even my girlfriend, she was like, hey, when did you guys become a Broadway show all of a sudden? I laughed. I'm seeing this season 16 games a year. I'm pretty much used to the fireworks and the game MC, screaming at her, God bless her, yelling her head off, trying to get the, guys to hype. But you want what really hype is? Winning. Right. Okay.
And Garry, this
was a team that was undefeated at home and now thud.
Right.
2-3. 2 L's in 3 home games.
2 and 3 since.
Okay.
I have no words. I don't.
It's okay. I'll say them for you.
Go ahead. Rock.
I'll
Go
say
ahead,
them for you.
I have no words.
People on that field got sliced up by Tavon Gray, and they want to swear up and down that they're USMNT starting quality players. They want to swear up and down that they're MLS Cup contenders. They want to swear up and down that they're ready for the next level, that they're ready for the Bundesliga, that they're ready for the top 5 leagues in Europe.
No.
They got sliced up by Tavon Gray.
No.
Tavon Gray.
There's a reason why.
They let Justin Hack
assault you.
Lock them down. Keep them in his back pocket. Who is Justin Hack? You let him lock you down. No movement on the pitch. No effort. No balls. No passion. No vision. No aggression. No mindset. No positive mindset. We just got destroyed 5-1 at home for years.
It should have been more.
Until it really should have been more.
Yeah.
Until 2021, we always made fun of them for the Red Wedding. 7-0 at Yankee Stadium. We laughed about that for years. Heck, I still laughed about it until Saturday. It almost was. Honestly, part of me wanted it to be like even worse. Part of me wanted it to be like maybe like 7-1 or something, so it could wake them up. Because these guys have been sleeping at the wheel for 4 months. And I'm sick and tired of it. We just got super cooked at home by our biggest rival.
Not just cucked, super cucked.
Yes. Super cooked at home by our biggest rival, bro. You can't be for real.
I mean,
And
that's
you want
like
to say, "Oh, we have title aspirations." Get out of my face.
no, you don't.
You're pathetic.
Yeah.
You just and the only
They
reason
deserve
why
every single bit of it. We deserve to drop down to 6. It's honestly, it is a shame that we somehow clinched a playoff spot for the 15th consecutive season. After that, absolute tragedy. That terrorism we saw. And Sandro Schwartz is not a footballing terrorist. He is a good coach. He has been given ample to work with.
A footballing terrorist. That's a good one.
Magic.
footballing terrorists. I'm gonna get
beans and 3-day-old moldy cheese.
Yeah.
People keep trotting out 7-0. You know, I keep telling people, you know, you keep trotting out 7-0, and yet NYCFC got the ultimate clapback. They want a cup.
Right.
So until further notice, New York is blue.
They got hammered. They got
sorry. No matter how many, I mean, even if we somehow knock these guys out in the playoffs, should we get that far, they'll always point to that star and over that crest.
Listen,
oh,
they got hammered 7-0, and they were able to build a team good enough to win MLS Cup. You know? I mean, come on, man.
It was a major.
I do want to.
Major fluke. I think we can all agree with that.
I do want to bring up Vince, and we're running out of time in this segment. I do want to bring up what Vincent said about Sandro showing him that he can't adjust his tactics if things going well in the game, the recipe in the playoffs. Well, one, Sandro just got here. Two, he was given a team that he was given. He didn't pick the players, bro. Didn't. That duty goes to our friend, Mr. Schneider. Okay. And Julia de Guzman, okay, which I'm going to ask you guys a question. Lanre, Miguel, I know you guys scoured the league up and down about player personnel and everything else. Can you please tell me just how many teams that have both a sporting director and a head of sport?
No one.
I can't think of somebody.
Just curious. No. And we're not making this up, but I'm just curious. Okay.
Most teams have one guy that
have one.
Is
they have
in charge
one.
Of coming in, bringing in players, man.
You usually have a guy who is the vice president or president of player personnel, and that's it. Everything goes through him. The scouting, right. You have a scouting department. You go out maybe one or two guys, not 50 guys like a normal club like yours. Miguel, like Arsenal, they got guys all over the place. They got camps all over the place. Okay, even Chelsea, they got guys they got dudes all over. They got dudes camping out in Africa, scouting for the next player to bring in the Premier League.
Drogba.
Okay. Drogba, who used to play for Chelsea. What's he doing? He's now employed by them. Search out the next guy for his club for the Blues. Okay.
Any team, I gotta say. Just let me finish this. Any team that gets diced up by retirement homebound Maxi Morales in the year of our Lord 2024 does not deserve to win a single playoff game.
Somehow,
I never ever thought I would say this, but
I knew you were going to go there.
Here we are. I mark this down right now. Lanre Badmus today is saying, until further notice, New York is blue.
Bro, let me tell you something about Maxi Morales. Since he came to the league, I've been saying, I wish we had a guy like Maxi Morales in the midfield.
We did.
Okay?
We did. You remember his name. We did. Once upon a time.
Right. And he
How long ago?
He should be watching the game at home in retirement, but he's in the Red Bull Arena field, okay? And he just slicing them up like a butcher, okay? Come on.
Butcher, man. Cool. Like he's working at Satrial's, just butchering.
Satrial's pork store, yeah. He's like... Oh
Of
my
course,
God.
naturally, now you're probably wondering, Gary, where's the highlights? We're not showing you any. Out of the respect
No
to
highlights.
everybody on the fan base and everybody joining us here on the live show, we're not going to do that
Please.
to you. Instead, we're going to basically show you the final score. New York Red Bulls 1, New York City FC 5. Morales, that ridiculous goal in the 5th minute. Martinez scored twice. Pereira in the 30th minute. Gray in the 68th. Van Zier, the lone tally in the 68th minute. That's his 4th. What do you know? So it was, for all intents and purposes, a debacle, boys and girls. It's just a game that we basically needed to, forget. It's that simple. I mean, there's nothing more to be said here. Of course, I know what you guys are actually going to get on my case about this. There was some, there was some bright spots, unfortunately, but it we're not going to read that anywhere. We're not going to go into that anywhere. We're all going to talk about, let's move forward, as they say, the week ahead. The Red Bulls have 2 games to collect, to wipe the collective bad tastes out of their mouth, out of everyone's mouth, not just the fan base, not just the players, not just the coach, everyone. We spoke to the coach earlier today. They had a media availability right about now, should be posted on the discussion group, should be up there for everyone to see, and it's up there for start to finish. Go take a look. And we put in there for Sandro Schwartz, and of course, for the captain, Emil Forsberg, who, the reason why he took a while, because he wanted to make sure that he was absolutely fit. He didn't want to re-injure anything, and that's understandable. Fans will say, well, he's the captain, he should be going to blood and guts and stuff like that. It doesn't work that way. I mean, we've seen what happened with, anybody remember with Lewis Morgan, where he was trying to work his way back to fitness, not Sandro, excuse me. And then 2 games later, he was out even further. Have to put, we don't want that same thing to happen. So, he is the linchpin of the offense. He is the quarterback, and I just wish there were better, there were better weapons on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. There's going to be scores, of course, naturally on week 35 in Major League Soccer, and after return, Lanre is going to basically lay the land of land about Toronto FC. You talk about a team not meeting expectations, and you think our fan base is pretty rough? Wait till you meet Toronto FC. This is the same crew that chased out, guess who? Our former gym coach. We'll see you back here in about 30 seconds. So that's 2 road games back to back, of course. Carlos Cano will be the headline of that game thread, respectively. And of course, we got Rafael Bradley. I think will take care of the one for Atlanta. And then we're all getting together for the final game, which is on decision day on the Sunday. Remember, it doesn't take place on a Saturday. All games will take place all at once on Sunday to find out who's going in and who's going home. Speaking of which, Lanre, Wednesday night in BMO Field, we're going to be facing, of course, Toronto FC, who is right now, last we checked, they're fighting for their playoff lives at the moment. Tell the good folks what's been going on with them since the last time we faced these guys.
Okay, so John Herdman's crew, Toronto FC, they are currently, as you said, 8th in the standings. They are tied with Philadelphia on points. Philly has the game in hand, but Toronto have more wins. They have a really thinking awful goal difference of -17. They have, obviously, the European Championship winning Federico Bernardeschi. Angelo, loves that guy, former U of A player. They have him in the midfield.
I would love to have him for the Red Bulls. Seriously.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
I have wet dreams. I mean, hey, if he's had enough of Toronto FC, hey, throw him a bone.
Better than everyone we got here on. If we're being real,
Seriously.
But yeah, but they have him playing right wing back, which I kind of find to be akin to footballing terrorism. Why is your most talented player on the pitch playing right wing back? You're wasting his talent. Yeah. Insigne,
I'm going to put that
he
on the
hasn't worked
sticker.
out for them.
Football and terror.
Footballing
that,
terrorism. And
that,
I know footballing terrorism
that in American relegation. Those
Oh, yeah.
delegation.
Hashtag American
Hashtag.
relegation.
football terrorism. We're good.
And what's the other one? Tactical signing. That's what it is.
Tactical signing.
So what are we looking at with Toronto FC? I mean, we know who they are, what they are. The last time we faced them, we beat them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What does this team have to do to get past these guys? Because I know a lot of people don't like cliches, Lanre, but this is a must win, especially what happened on Saturday.
I think we got to be diligent in attacking the wings. As you see, they play that 3-4-2-1 formation, which for me, even though my Chelsea, we basically won Champions League with a similar formation. We've won Premier League with a similar formation. It's not the most aesthetic formation in the world. So I think as long as we we find the channels, we have Forsberg find and exploit the channels to kind of go past their center backs, and he can feed good balls into Van Zier or Manuel, whoever's up top. I think we got a good chance of beating them. Defensively, they are of course very porous, so it's very easy to go at their center backs. Put them on their heels, make them make mistakes, put them under pressure, get them in a little bit of trouble. With the referee, maybe pick up a booking because of a rash challenge because he couldn't stop our fast guys. That being said, I think we just got to stay defensively compact. That's really, really difficult after what we saw on Saturday, all that trash we saw on Saturday. But I think that, hopefully we can bounce back. Toronto are just not a very good team.
Yeah. A couple of things before you
begin.
We're
not a very good team right now, Lanre. Okay. And
look, I don't know why I'm trying to be positive. Maybe I'm in lobotomy or something, or maybe I'm lobotomized already. I just don't know it.
But I get it. I'm
trying.
Our old Derek Etienne Jr., Henry Wingo, and of course Nicholson Gomez. They're out with injuries, so they're not going to be there. They're basically not going to be there when we play them. However, Carmona, he's still out. Duncan is out for the rest of the season. Mitchell, he's out for the rest of he's coming back hopefully maybe in October. Sean Nealis, it'll be great if he can able to return, but they're not staging him until later in October, maybe the playoffs will be the case. And of course, we said about Wiki Carmona. The thing about Toronto FC is I'm looking at their statistics. Nicholas is right. Toronto lost the Canadian Championship in penalties. They're going to be tired. Fourth game in 12 days. Goodness gracious! Wow, that's talk about game. Okay, they're going to be exhausted. Red Bulls should be pissed. Okay, about what happened on. Okay? We'll talk about predictions later. My only concern is, of course, for Toronto, they do have a very porous defense. You know who else has a porous defense? Chicago. And somehow they dropped 2 goals on us. So that's a concern for me.
But Garry,
Miguel, that's a concern for me.
It's like for like. We have a very porous defense right now as well. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Touche.
Not over the course of the season, but yes, we have a very, very porous defense.
Touche. After Toronto, the team is literally staying on the road. They're not coming back home. They're staying on the road and heading off to Atlanta, home of that hard turf, and of course that fantastic facility known as Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And oh man, what a facility!
Beautiful. Oh my god.
That's a terrific facility. However, their team and their fan base are pretty mad because basically where their team is outside looking in. Last we look at the standings, Lanre, what's going on with Atlanta? I mean, we were basically, didn't we pencil these guys as top 4 teams this season?
Yeah, I think everyone penciled them in as a top 4 team. I think I think a lot of the signings they've made previously haven't really worked out in their favor. They did just sign the Russian national team veteran Alexei Miranchuk from Atalanta. Talk about a tongue twister for that one. And he's made an impact. He scored at Red Bull Arena
Yes, he did.
a couple weeks ago. So he's been a good addition. They did sell Thiago Almada to Botafogo in Brazil. So replacing a player of his quality is obviously never easy. That young World Cup winner. But besides him, they have Sasha Lobjanidze, the Georgian. He's been a very, very good player for them this year. He's got 8 goals and 3 assists. Up top, they got Daniel Rios, formerly of Charlotte FC, on loan from Chivas de Guadalajara. He's been banging in the goals for them as well. He's got more goals than he's got as many goals as Manuel. He's got more than Van Zier. So I mean, we can't really talk much about that. They got Bartosz Schlich, the young defensive midfielder from Poland. He's made a decent impact for them. He's got a goal. He's been anchoring the midfield really well. They are historically a tough team to play away from home. And I know because I saw us lose there last year, unfortunately. That was for the first time in regular season play. But they do have that old egghead Brad Guzan, 40 years old. This past month.
And he
40.
was able to stymie the living daylights out of the Red Bulls but we got him on 2 goals. They almost walked away. They were seconds away from walking out of there with a win until, Julian Hall stepped up and caused a lot of chaos in the front of the net. Yeah. Believe it or not, I like Atlanta. I like the way they're built. I like their organization and everything, and everything else.
However, envious.
That too. I'm very envious of how they are. Here's the problem with Atlanta United. They're beatable because of what they have versus what they think they have. The only thing that I'm concerned about in that game, Miguel, is the team's focus. You're playing basically, they're going to be 2 knife fights back to back. Okay.
Right. It's going to be Wednesday and then what?
Saturday. That's correct. Yeah. You're facing 2 teams that are fighting for their playoff lives. Okay.
Yeah.
They need, especially Atlanta, who's right now in 11th place. They're on the outside looking in. They need this win.
Toronto has 37 points right now, right?
Correct. Yes.
And Atlanta has how many?
Atlanta,
34.
34. Oof.
Yeah, they need this win.
That's life or death right there. Yeah.
They need this win and need it bad. They, believe it or not, they're going to be, hold on for 1 second. On Wednesday, they're facing Montreal. That's going to be fun.
Oh gosh.
At Atlanta. The good news. At Atlanta.
At Atlanta.
So they're going to be, their homestand is wrapping up. So if Club Le Foot Montreal does us a solid Wednesday night, that can diminish their chances of bringing out the knives. That makes them even more desperate by the time the Red Bulls roll in to Peachtree City. Okay, but of course, we're going to be focusing on Toronto. So I'm going to ask everybody out there who's right now playing Nicholas, Lisa, Travel Pass, everyone out there. How are you feeling about the game for Toronto? Are you feeling confident? Let's hear you. Let's hear you guys right now. If you're feeling confident or not so much. We'll post on you. Of course, your responses very shortly as you respond. And Atlanta, we know we can go toe to toe with these guys. Because they haven't beaten us at Red Bull Arena. But then again, I can't remember the last time we lost to these guys at Atlanta. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. But at home, I don't know. Lisa's saying nope. She's not feeling confident at all. You agree?
No, I'm not feeling confident at all. I agree with you.
I'm not feeling confident at all. Are you kidding me?
Explain, Miguel. Explain.
We just got hammered. Okay, our defense is actually porous at the back. Okay, I mean, I would feel comfortable.
I would feel comfortable if Nealis was starting in either one of those games, but since he's not going to, your assessment is pretty much correct.
Right, and we don't exactly have people who are banging in the goals. Okay, I mean, I'm glad Van Zier got a goal, and he scored the previous. Well, he's got like 5 goals only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two goals in two games. He's heating up. He's coming to a small boil.
We would have been better.
Very small, tiny boil.
Oh, we would have been better off keeping Brian White, who could have scored maybe like 10 goals.
The man's an assassin over in the Pacific Northwest right now. He's slaying brothers.
Can we get him back?
No. I don't think the Whitecaps want to release him. No, not without a chunk of change. Okay?
Then they can give us Lewis Morgan's countryman Ryan Gold. Maybe we could get him back to the Scottish national team since they can't do it. And somehow he has a higher FIFA overall.
I like the way you. I like the way you think. Maybe you should be the sporting director.
Thank you. I agree.
Garry,
right.
These 2 games coming up might be 2 big fat losses. Okay. But the saving grace is we've made the playoffs, Garry. Okay, that's the saving grace. Although,
I don't care. I don't care. I'm not looking at the playoffs.
You know why, Garry and Lanre? Because
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of folks. I know a lot of folks are going to be very upset at me when they're saying that. I don't care.
Listen, because Garry and Lanre, I'm going to tell you right now, anything can happen in the playoffs. Okay.
But then nothing happens in the playoffs with this team. I mean, I'm concerned about a couple of things. Okay, we're right back where we were with Struber. Remember him? Okay, all right. Went up there to Columbus and got slain. Got not only punked, slain. Okay,
right.
Columbus made quick work of the Red Bulls. Yeah. Okay, gotta go, but that's it. Basically showed his naivete and his rookieism. I like Sandro Schwartz. I like him a lot. Okay, he's a good coach who brought this team right where they are right now. Lord knows where we'd be without him. But
I think that dude I think he's going to be begging to be let out of his contract.
Just like Struber was.
Please.
Termination by mutual consent. That's not a good look. Okay.
Get me out of here.
Termination by mutual consent. Like, okay, you can't fire me. I quit. That sort of thing. But I think I like, okay, that's a bad word to use. Think. I hope that someone has the good sense to go, you know what? This formula we having with just one player and a bunch of ham and eggs and kids ain't going to work. Let's give this guy some true weapons and see what he can really do. At least I'm hoping for that. It may not happen, of course, and we all know why, but that's something that we would like to have. No confidence in any of the 3 games. Yeah, because after they get past these guys, guess who we face on Sunday? Columbus. The team
Columbus Crew.
Yeah, the team that put everybody.
They're destroying us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the team that destroyed the Red Bulls. Okay, and put every fan in the fan base in a fetal position. Okay,
dude,
laying on the ground, crying, sucking their thumb.
We're gonna wind up all the way at the bottom, having to play a play-in game against somebody right above us. That's my prediction. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bring back sexy football. No, absolutely.
Honestly, part of me, I'm not gonna lie. Hold up, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Buckle up for what I'm about to say. I wish we could still fall out because these last several months have just been such a disaster.
No.
Like I said, fan engagement is an all-time low. I don't want to go to no more games this year. I've only been deprived. That's my voice. I became a member of VA, bro.
Look, folks. Look, fam. I mean, Lanre. Okay, the last time we don't want you to even come to the games anymore because you're a jinx. That's what they're telling everybody now. You're a jinx.
They were unbeaten all my other 4 games until August 31st.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
I
on
hated
me.
You. I'm like, I just said to myself, somewhere out there in the seats, I got Lanre right now punching a wall. Damn, you had to do it to him again. My man again.
On my birthday weekend again.
On your birthday weekend. On top of that, I was like
scheduling Philly on my birthday weekend because it occurs. And then, for the love of God,
I mean, I was the one that asked. Anybody getting tired of losing to Philly yet? Because I was getting annoyed. It's like this is getting out of hand. So it really, these games, I really hate to say this. Maybe you guys want to able to. Yeah, Lisa, the last game Lanre was at was the last game we won. Huh, go figure.
Actually, the last game that was August 31st. I don't mean to like spoil your parade of meat of moi, but unfortunately, August 31st we lost.
What game was that? What game was that?
August 31st, the home game against Philly. We lost.
Oh, against
we
Philly.
lost.
Okay,
Yeah, we lost that game.
And again, just like last year, I think I'm shutting myself down for the year again. Because at this point, I don't think we're getting a home playoff series in round one. I just don't see it.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's very possible we don't pick up another point the rest of the year. I'm sorry to say. I'm very sad to say.
The good news is, if we happen to somehow get past Toronto, the leapfrog us back into fourth, which which is something that the boys can actually shoot for. Will they attain it? Well, that's up to them, not us. Of course, while all this was going on, while we were all collectively getting our egos assaulted by just about everyone wearing a blue shirt, if you forgot there for that, there was a game, of course, with Gotham FC. Our boy Garry over in Gotham, soccer over Gotham FC. We're going to hope to have him next week. We'd like to, talk to him about, of course, Gotham FC. They are, believe it or not, they're flying high, boys. They're in third place, of course, in the league. They went to play Kansas City Current. Now Gotham didn't score any goals, by the way. But own goal, right? Miss Cook and of course Chawinga. That was all. But the reason why it was played at CPKC Stadium. Now, the only reason why I say this, guys, at the moment, Kansas City Current are the main tenants. That's right, a soccer-specific stadium specifically for NWSL team. There you go. So anyone who's saying that the game of soccer isn't growing in this country, well, think again. Okay, we got soccer-specific stadium for a female team, and bravo for them. Meanwhile, Gotham FC basically rent their next game. Their next game is pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm looking here at the schedule, I think City opens up in City Field. The Red Bull franchise is done. I don't know.
No. I don't know. I disagree.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that.
The Red Bulls franchise is done now. Okay. Lots of people I know, they're not renewing season tickets, man. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Personal anecdote.
Will the focus will be over at the city in their new place? You bet it will be.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that place, compared to ours, was a slightly dated, which is the reason why the Red Bulls are spending money and refreshing the place. Okay. It's been built since 2009, of course, was the last time it was Red Bull Arena was built. It's been state of the art then, and it doesn't stay state of the art very long. So you have to invent ways to get fans to come in the building and stay in the building. It's not ancient, not by a long shot, but it is a very decent facility. As for City, well, it's going to be in a prime location where it's going to be fully accessible by all modes of transportation: car, railroad, subway. So there's no way you can, they're going to be light years ahead of us, and all the focus is going to be over in City. And I'm sure within a year or two, they'll be hosting the All-Star game there as well. So they'll have their Pleasure Palace.
And as a matter of fact, Garry,
if it's the end of Red Bull, I doubt it.
When is that opening?
We're already finished.
When is that opening next season?
No, 2027 is this.
2027. Oh my God.
2027. I thought it was 26.
No, they had to add another year because there was a slight delay. 2027.
Well, I pray to God that it does not open up, man. And about like Red Bulls, about this team and stuff, I still have yet to take my girlfriend to her first Red Bulls game. I wanted to, and then the team dropped the bed. So I know
you want to be single again, don't you?
I would recommend man. As a matter of fact,
That's exactly why I haven't brought her.
Jenny,
I don't want her to know.
I'm just sitting worried about you. Someone's
Someone's
got to take this handsome mug, and he's a good-looking guy and everything. I'm sure there's a girl out there for you. You're bringing this sweet little princess, and now you want to punish the girl. What's wrong with you?
That's exactly why I'm not bringing her. She don't have a nice little cocktail in her hand like Cat Williams. Just be like, aligning yourself with losers is not like you.
Ouch.
Right.
Ouch. I came home. Girlfriend was waiting for me with a spot of tea and a beautiful smile. She said, "You had a bad night, didn't you?" I'm like, "Well, that depends." I wasn't the one playing.
That's true.
I was the one playing. I was the one writing about it. I was doing my interviews and everything else. They're the ones that got their teeth in pride and everything else kicked in, not me. So yeah, but the one of the things, I think it's so hard to get across to New Jersey by car on the weekends, and now it gets worse every year. So I feel like we lose all our New York attendees. You're gonna lose them anyway. Okay,
yeah,
half the fan base when NYCFC was born. Okay, half the fan base, most of them were Red Bull fans, shifted over to them. Some of them were my closest friends. I don't hate them for that. Okay. They were duly rewarded with team winning a cup after we sitting on the fence and yelling and screaming at our teams for so long. Will this be the end of Red Bull? Doubt it. And I'll tell you why. Because of all the money they invested in this, they invested into infrastructure and everything else. People seem to forget before a training center was even built, Red Bull Arena was built with Red Bull money. Remember that? We didn't borrow this from the city or the state. They paid for it, lock, stock, and barrel. $200 million last I checked, okay, for that nice little palace. And it's been the jewel, for all the other MLS soccer-specific stadiums ever since. So, fast forward here to 2024. We at the press corps, we're next season we'll be sitting someplace else because the area that we were sitting all those years, they're making that into a skybox. So they're moving the unwashed writers and interviewers upper deck somewhere, and of course, naturally, they're going to I think what they're going to do years later, the logo seats are not going to be logo seats anymore. They're going to basically shift the press box over to the other side. So. Progress, boys and girls. And for that, also understand there's going to be areas where in the upper deck where folks can able to sit on tables and stuff like that. Not too shabby, okay? So every, even Madison Square Garden, a place that I would never walk into because of a certain owner, they've actually refreshed themselves. Remember when we used to have blue seats and everything else? Well, there's nothing but skybox all over the place. So so the Garden, facilities change is what I'm basically
getting. Hey,
Garry, the red seats, the orange seats, the green seats,
gone.
And the blue seats.
Fuchsia. At one point, they were fuchsia. Gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your ticket was the color.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You knew what seat.
Right.
Ticket like,
I'm in the blue seats. I'm all the way up there.
No, I remember the blue seats back in the day. Every Knick fan and Ranger fan, to their heart, loved the blue seats. Okay, I remember getting those for about $15, the Geo card in high school. Word. For Knick games. That's how I was able to get in. Then Dolan came in and ruined everything.
Give Jimmy his credit, man. Give Jimmy his credit. He's at least now stayed out of the way and just focused on his Vegas sphere BS. Just with the basketball people handle the basketball. And now the Knicks are actually going to be championship contenders, baby.
Okay. Hey, by the way, speaking of
we'll see.
By the way, speaking of basketball, let's take a second and remember Mr. No. Dikembe Mutombo, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And thank you very much, good sir. He was definitely an athlete. He was definitely a good man. I had the pleasure of shaking his hand one day. We meet him in Wall Street. He was doing a function down there. Gentle giant, great guy. And he will surely be missed.
African giant.
Definitely. It's sad the fact that the dude lived as long. He was born the same year I was, and it angers me a little bit that this guy was no older than yours truly. I'll be 58 in November, and
he was
passed.
58, yeah.
November, and he passed away. So it's like I'm like, I gotta make sure I take good care of myself because I want to stick around and see. I want to live when the Red Bulls finally win it. Okay, I want to be able to, and knowing my luck and knowing our luck, we'd be like, just as they win the game, I'm catching a heart attack. That's basically right. just as these bastards finally, this is how they're gonna do me in. I mean, it really, I was saying, and Nick is right. People keep saying that the Rebels are gonna sell, they're gonna sell. No, they're not going anywhere. I mean, people really don't understand how much money they sunk in this new facility, this training facility. If you have any idea what the thing is going to look like, you should see the renderings of the new facility on the website. If you're really not sure, head over to Red Bull Bragantino. No, I mean, that's Lanre. You want to talk about ridiculousness, okay? You should see that. You should see that training center. Okay, what they're going to be building.
It's going to be right now.
You should see that training center. You talk about ridiculousness. Okay, they are modeling the new training center, fellas. After that,
when it's fully
built, you talk about ridiculousness.
Oh, sure.
Got the tip straight from my man Andrew Fasano. That's
going
to model. That's swanky. They're moving their business, their operations from Red Bull Arena to the new site. Of course, it's going to be large.
When is that going to open?
I believe it's going to open in 2 years. It's going to be fully open it's going to be fully open in 2.5. So they're going to have the training center and stuff all handed down by then, and then the academies and everything else is going to happen a year after that. Yeah. They had a hard way to go with the mayor of that place because, the buildings nearby, they want to convert that into a youth academy system. Now, they finally was able to, and Nick is right, there is a live camera shot to see the development going on that you take a look at it. But when it's done, it's going to look so nice. And people say, they're not going to win a cup. And I said this, to the folks in the group. Consider this, okay? Will it help them win a cup? Maybe not. But if you want to bag that baller, you want to bag that big name dude, what's the first thing they look at when they see a team, Lanre, Miguel? The training facility. Right? So if you have now, if you have a baller worth your salt, and I'm not talking about some A-lister, C-lister, B-lister, A-lister, okay? We're talking about Kylian Mbappe, right? If he decides to want to take a look at, if he, of course, a guy can dream, right? So,
yeah, but better to the same pigs fly to Kylian Mbappe ever becoming a New York.
Kylian Mbappe, I don't 39. Honestly,
I don't see him leaving Europe. Right? That's plain and simple. I don't see him leaving Europe. Suppose or a guy or baller like him. You know what the first place they're going to look at with his agent and his family? The facilities.
Okay.
The facilities. Now, if you have Red Bull Arena, they go, that's nice. And then you go look at this rinky-dink, practically used facility out in Whippany. They're going to go, what the hell is this? Out in the middle of nowhere, mind you. Okay. The only thing that's out there is a nearby airport. They've been there about 4 times. Okay.
Where is this new facility located?
It's going to be across the way from the old one. Okay.
Oh, so it's still in the middle of nowhere. Okay.
We should rename Red Bull Arena to Gotham Arena. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. There'll be a corporate name. The corporate name is going to be replaced with a corporate name. Travel Pass. That's a given. Okay, that's a given. Otherwise, they're going to keep Red Bull Arena. They're going to keep the name as it was born, Red Bull Arena. Because hey, it advertised itself actually. So speaking of New York Red Bull 2, by the way, they won. Yes, New York Red Bull 2 beat New England Revolution 2. Sofo, Kasule with a penalty, and Roxborough. Butts was the only person with the goal. When it comes to Mr. Roxborough, gentlemen, pay attention to this kid. Um, he's scoring goals left and right for this team. It won't be very long will he be hopefully scoring goals for the senior team, but he needs a little bit more seasoning. Um, I like him. He's got a great distinct style up in front. He's got a nose for goals. He's ballsy. Let's put it this way: he gets the ball and he charges at the net. How many forwards do you know that does that sort of thing? Of course, he's going to get turned. There's going to be dispossessed and stuff there. But this kid is certainly worth watching. Down the line. Hopefully we get him within a couple of years. Not ready yet, but he's almost there. So, with that said, and congrats for Gotham on their trip to the White House. Oh yes,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. They had a coup with Mr. Biden, which most half of America hates. But you know what? Oh, by the way, some of the fans also made the trip to the White House, not to take pictures with the team, but to experience the whole thing. So congratulations to them, and it was great, to see that. All right, let's talk about predictions, boys. Starting with you, Miguel. I know you have a very low, um, dim view of this game, but talk to us. Huh? Is this a win or a loss? Honestly,
It's a loss. It's a loss. It's a loss on
Okay.
Wednesday, and it would be a loss on the weekend as well.
Okay, so we're talking about
Two
a
outs.
Natalie. That's right. Natalie made history. Not only she was able to hold the NWSL Championship trophy, which is something that most fans don't do, she was able to witness the event over in the White House. She's living a charmed life. God bless her.
Sure.
Mwah.
No.
Yeah, my
Awesome.
girl. So she's living a charmed life. So a 3-game losing streak we're talking about before they finally come back home, eh?
Well,
Yep.
I'm talking about these next 2 games are 2 losses. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That'll be
Well,
3-game
and
losing
then-
it'll be a 3-game losing streak if we're talking about that would be a problem.
If we're gonna say, okay, the last game is against Columbus, I guess it all depends on where Columbus is. Are they fighting for that spot right above them or something? I
No,
don't know.
I think they pretty much got. I think they pretty much got third place sewn up. If you
Okay.
tell me, all right,
Hmm.
Lanre. All right, man.
Okay. Just a second ago, I was going to say back to it was all going to be losses. Think we might draw at Toronto. We might draw in Toronto, but lose in Atlanta. So 2 points out of 4 games going into decision day.
Ay, ay, ay.
Wait, hold on.
Ay,
That
ay,
would
ay.
be 1 point out of 2 games. Going
1 point out of 2 games, but then
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
also counting NYC and Atlanta at home before that.
Okay.
Ay, ay, ay.
All right.
I see it similar, Lanre. I see it similar. I see a draw in Toronto, and it's crazy as it may sound, I also see a draw in Atlanta. I'm going to take the coach at his word that after the match on Saturday, there was a screaming match. Okay,
All right.
dudes were not happy. Okay, if you look at the body language that Carlos Coronel had when he was interviewing with us, it may not look it when you're looking face to the camera, but his shoulders were slumped. It was almost like he was embarrassed to be talking to us. Okay. He braved the front because he figured, he came to us. I mean, it's not like the communications team went out and got him. He basically came to us to essentially apologize, for his involvement of the debacle, because 2 of those goals, not only one of them, the first one came from Carlos Corona playing patty cake with the guys in front of him. Okay. But then you have Edelman making a very
Edelman.
bad pass at a bad time, and that
Or
led to goal number 2.
he played a magical ball to the NYCFC player. You can look at it that way. Thank you very much.
Which I don't know. I mean,
Well, I don't know
I
if
think
anything from their
I
point
think
of
for
view
the most
ever.
part, if you look at the interviews that was during the media, it's up there. It's been already posted on the discussion group page. Take a look at that. I already posted up there for everyone to see and hear the questions from all the interviewers. Go see it yourself. I mean, the message has been sent. Okay, that the fans were not happy, the organization was not happy, the players were not happy. Obviously, the coach was not happy. This was a disaster. Okay, I don't know too many teams on a derby that would get shellacked like this, and then think everything was okay. I do remember I remember El Clasico, okay, where Barcelona slapped Real Madrid 5-0 and heads rolled. Okay. Now, over in Spain, of course, people take their football pretty damn seriously. So we're, of course, naturally, microcosm in between that. But I think the message has been sent. We will see, okay, if the message has been will translate into play and everything else. And then we only hope that things will be positive because I want positivity. I want something that the fans can able to celebrate for once, okay, before we go through the usual drama, which is the playoffs. And with that, we come to an end of yet another wonderful episode to our podcast. Don't forget, if you're watching it on YouTube, the episode, of course, will be uploaded for your listening and viewing pleasure, of course, as well as continue to it's live right now, and it's continue up to, of course, naturally Spotify.com is your home for everybody So that's it. Hopefully the things will be positive from this far on. I mean, hey, the only direction is up for the Red Bulls. Let's see if that's all the case. We hope, and hopefully it doesn't have a repeat of anything. We got 2 games to go through, Wednesday and, of course, Saturday.
And don't forget, come on, you Gunners. Thank you very much.
Keep the blue flag flying high always. Chelsea, baby.
I can't wait for the season over to see you guys try to kill each other when the 2 teams meet. Okay? So, gentlemen, I thank you for your time and, of course, your assistance in making this podcast great. Lanre, thank you, sir. Miguel, thank you. It's been an honor. For Lanre Babnos and, of course, myself and Miguel Nunez and myself, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, good night and goodbye for now.